Boop, boop. I know, yep, good boy, good job. So today, Mr. Louie and I got to know each other a little bit. I wanted to get started in our resort office because this is the easiest place for me to control what kind of distractions I introduce to him. And with a reactive dog, that's really object number one, item number one for me to get an idea of what is it exactly that I'm gonna see a reaction from. Right now, our biggest distraction in this room is our dryer, and you can see that at this point, Mr. Louie could care less about the dryer. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Yep, good boy. To start off, I introduced a marker. Now, a marker basically just communicates to a dog that a reinforcer, or a cookie, is incoming. For me, I use the marker to immediately after I see a behavior I like, to indicate to him that behavior right there is earning you a cookie, okay? So I'm gonna pick one behavior at a time. I'll start with a sit, because it's something he's very familiar with. You did it very readily for me earlier, sir. Louie, hi, sit. Yep, good boy. Then he gets a cookie. Sit. I know, what's that? Sit. Yep, boy. Good job. And then I started to use this marker to capture other behaviors that he might not know right off the bat, but could be very useful, very helpful for a dog that's super curious or maybe super nervous about novelty. So the first thing I did was I introduced a hand target. Yep, good boy. And that's just a closed fist. That's all I'm doing is I'm showing him a closed fist. Yep, and I want to feel his nose touch my fist before he gets the cookie. Yep, good boy. Now the trick when you're introducing a new behavior is to reward the behavior. Don't reward the behavior that occurs after the behavior you like. So for example, touch, yep, and then he's gonna sit. Now if I'm not careful, I might accidentally reward him for booping and then sitting and then booping and then sitting, and now he's learned to boop and sit. That's not what I want. The hand target needs to be a standalone behavior. So, boop, yep, good job. You want to be very careful about when and what you reward. Yep, good job, very good. Sit, sit. Yep, I like how you line up on the little blanket. That's very smart of you. It's very comfy, huh? So when you're working on newer behaviors, make sure that you're rewarding the behavior that occurred and not allowing other behaviors, yep, to muddy up the lesson by having him perform a new behavior and then offer a familiar one like a sit before getting a snack. That's gonna muddy up the learning process. Good boy. Now you're gonna notice that even though he's working, his ears are kind of moving forward and then back and then forward and then back and forward and back. He's listening very closely to what's going on. Yep, good boy. And you actually just saw him turn his head and look over his shoulder there. All of those are reactions. Maybe not the vocal reaction that you are concerned about or that you want. Give me just one moment. Okay, so sorry about that. I had a team member with a question. So you'll notice that he is reacting to things. It might not be vocal, but the ear movement, the eye movement, those are all reactions. And that's what we want to reward for. The goal when you're working with a vocal dog, yep, good boy, is to reward before the reaction starts so that you're not accidentally reinforcing the barking that's inevitable. Yep, good job. So, for example, right now Louie is very curious because I just had a team member pop in with a question and now she is gone, and so yep, he is checking that door out, trying to figure out what's gonna come at him next from that door, which is behind the camera here. And I am, yep, using my marker of YEP anytime he gets curious. Yep, good boy about that door. And then using cookies to encourage him to explore the area immediately around him. Yep, that's going to interrupt the hard focus that kind of is the prequel to vocal reactivity. Yep, good boy. Now he's a really curious guy. And you mentioned that you have like a puzzle feeder for him, so you're doing all the right things to keep his brain engaged And I'm wondering if that might be part of the problem when it comes to, yep, there you go. When it comes to his reactivity, when he gets bored or when he gets curious about something and he can't immediately go investigate it, he gets frustrated and then he starts barking, okay? Barking can indicate several different things, but in general, it is a level of what we call arousal in dogs. So my goal when I work with him during his upcoming sessions is going to be to help him understand that he has other choices that he can make. One more moment. Okay, so sorry about that. It's been a very busy Wednesday for us, and we have a lot of questions that need answering. To wrap things up, yep, the goal of our sessions is going to be to help him understand that when he gets curious or when he does not immediately get the answer or the investigation that he wants, he does not need to bark or yell about it. We're working on building tolerance, building a threshold for frustration. Yep, with the ultimate goal being that he can, if he gets curious or concerned about something, but can't immediately check it out, his next choice will be to go engage in something that he can check out and can be reinforced for, which right now is getting to know me and focusing on me and what he needs to do to earn that next snack. Very good boy, okay? So how are we gonna practice this with you at home? You can create controlled novelty in his space. So you mentioned that you use a puzzle feeder for him. That's a great way to introduce novelty into his feeding structure, but you can expand that into his entire environment. So I would routinely move his crate. I would routinely move his sleeping locations. Sarah, why are you scooping? And I would routinely just slightly adjust his feeding times, okay? Maybe by like 15 minutes forward or back, okay? All of those little itty bitty adjustments in his routine will initially throw him. He's gonna have to pause and kind of think about, wait, what does this mean? Does this mean anything? And that's the point. The point is to help him understand that these slight little changes in his environment, these new setups, these new routines, these minor adjustments, they mean nothing. They're meaningless. He still gets the same reinforcers, he still gets fed, he still gets to enjoy snuggle time or play time or rest time. It just might be in a slightly different location every other week or so, okay? This is how we start to desensitize him to novelty and remove any frustration that he's experiencing due to the novelty, okay? Go slow with this. One thing each week. You can build on that later, but for now, pick one thing, adjust it once each week, okay? And we'll see how he feels about that. When it comes time for bedtime, make sure that you are meeting all of his other needs before putting him to bed. That means he is fed well before bedtime. His water might need to be pulled well before bedtime, and he needs a nice, hard training and play session well before bedtime. Something a little unstructured, like playing tag, or fetch, or tug, whatever he enjoys, plus something more structured, like recall or hand targets. Yep, see how creative you can get. And then let him settle in for bed, okay? I would also follow whatever recommendations your veterinarian put together for you. She is more familiar with him at this point than I am. So combine the information that you get from both of us. This is going to be a multifaceted approach, yes sir, and we're going to see great progress, yes, because you already are totally fine with this dryer running right next door to us, and it was so scary at first, wasn't it? Yeah, but you did great, handsome. He's so cute. I loved working with him. I can't wait to see where we can go next time we get together on next Wednesday, okay?